Hi, everybody. Welcome again to our emotional intelligence and career transition update for you. 10 minutes boost on what can you do in the midst of things that are happening in order for you to manage your career really, really well. And today we're talking about managing thoughts
Mhm.
during career chaos. And some of the things I thought about regarding that was, well, firstly, I went to look up the word chaos. And in Google, it talked about disorientation, confusion, disorganized. And can your career actually feel and seem like that? And I think the answer is definitely going to be yes.
Mm.
And the reason why I say that is because Dr. Tara and I are going to be talking about that over these next few minutes to help you realize that there are going to be times when there is change post COVID, pre COVID, during COVID, that
Yeah.
was chaos. And even post COVID now, when we're all getting into a state of hybrid working, that actually there are occasions where it's new team members, new managers, restructuring, reorganizations, new designs, redundancies. There can be changes to external suppliers, customers, the service, the product that you're working on, the sales. All sorts of things can cause you to have thoughts that are not great and scattered and
Right.
seeming chaotic. So, Tara, welcome to this conversation. Over to you to have another sort of next stab at how we can manage our thoughts then during career chaos.
Yes, you are correct that even if you've felt like you've gone through some type of career chaos and you are on the downswing, it can definitely happen again. And as you think about chaos, I mean, they're unexpected typically. It's an unplanned something that just comes up that really can change the trajectory of our careers. Most times we don't expect it, but also I think it's important that we call out that we are sometimes the cause of that particular chaos that's going on around it. And going back to when I think about the word chaos, I don't even know that I really use that term a lot. Uh, Many times I may describe a situation as chaotic, but not necessarily that I'm in the midst of chaos. And in any event, what it comes down to is that we were in a pandemic, which many would say was chaotic and created some chaos. It could be, as you mentioned, the loss of a job. It could be that we are relocating. It could be that we are starting a new position and we have to build new relationships. We could be in our careers and getting a new system. So chaos looks differently for everyone. So knowing how to really deal with it, being able to recognize it, but in some form or fashion, also preparing for the unexpected is really where the quick win comes in. And the reality is, many times we don't have control over how or when chaos occurs. So that's why it's really important to have a plan for things for the unexpected. And when we think about the unexpected, many of our parents taught us to have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C when things could go wrong, whether that's with our vehicles, whether that's with a major appliance, whatever that looks like for you. I also would suggest that we do that for our careers, that we have a backup plan for our career.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And treat it as well as any product that you, you have in your home. And
Yes.
I like that advice because obviously, as an emotional intelligence coach, what I sometimes do when I'm coaching leaders is we often look at that self-knowing trait of
Mm,
emotional intelligence, how you feel, think, say, and do. And often, when
yes.
there are chaotic situations and confusion and uncertainty, we often sit in the feeling, we often
Mm,
sit in the thoughts, And we often then let that go from one to another, sometimes back to the feeling, back to the thoughts, around and around and around continuously for a long period of time. And sometimes that causes inaction.
Yeah.
And what I always recommend is actually, now that you've thought things through, feel it,
Mhm.
feel the chaos, feel what the emotions of that chaos creates, and then you get into your thinking mode of, "Ah, I need to move a career, I need to go and speak to a mentor, I need to write a plan, or I may need to get out and go into a completely different sector." All these thoughts is good. It's very good because it's a sign of your emotional intelligence and self-awareness. But how long you spend in that mode is really
Yes.
crucial, because you could be missing out on some really great opportunities. But before you even step out into that opportunity, talk to someone, write it down, get it out of your head, get those thoughts in order. And
Yes.
so, because what you don't want is, you don't want chaotic thoughts. You need to manage the
Yeah.
thoughts, right? And often it's an opportunity to then look at what you've written down, and
Mhm.
or have that conversation with somebody who is great at helping you get that journey started, to then take it to a solution focused mode, because otherwise you'll always be in that chaotic thinking mode. And thinking is
Mhm.
great, don't get me wrong. However, you can't stay there forever.
Right.
And it's highly recommended that you either write it down or talk to someone. And that's what I do to help you enhance that sort of self knowing aspect of your emotional intelligence as well. And how about you, Tara? How do you talk to your clients about when they're in a situation like this?
I think that's a really good segue because, like when I work with women to design a plan on whether they're going up or out of the organization, it's typically because something chaotic is going on, or some type of chaos has happened.
Yeah.
But the most important thing, and the starting place is always the same, is that I suggest that they create some space for themselves to think. White space, some organizations call it, but just space, intentional space that you schedule to sit down to really capture what it is that you want to do, how you want to proceed, and what are some things that are just simply non-negotiable. Because typically, what happens is when we are in the midst of chaos, or whether we are in it or it's around us,
Mm.
we respond really quickly, and we respond in words and or behavior without thinking about the impact that they could truly have. And so I always encourage my clients to also, really embrace it. And that's a difficult thing to do. And I can't tell you how many times I've gotten the side eye when I say embrace chaos, or to embrace this very uncomfortable space that you're in,
Mm.
because the reality is it's your space. You have time, and you have the wherewithal, I would say, to empower to respond in a certain type of way. And it doesn't have to be in a negative way, but it does require you to have control over your thoughts. It does require you to think through how you want to respond. And so, as you think about preparing or how to manage chaos in the midst of a career transition, one is to embrace it, to really take the time to see where you are, what it is you want to do, and how you want to move forward. But then to also think about, really setting some goals for yourself. And I would say ensure that those goals are not lofty goals, to ensure that they're really specific about the things that you want to go do. Because many times we can put unnecessary stress or weight on ourselves because we we are in a space where we want to move really fast. We feel like we have to move really fast financially before things start to fall apart. But really taking that time back that you've never had, to be intentional about the type of work, the type of organization that you want to work for. But then also, I would also suggest using that space and time when you're in the midst of chaos or things that are going to be changing pretty rapidly around you to find a way to build your skill set. You already have a set of skills. You have the ability to perform a particular job. But if you're looking to go up in your organization or out to a new opportunity, it's important that you know what those transferable skills are that you need or that you need to acquire. And acquire those from some of the free resources that you find across some of the platforms that we all use. And don't be shy to ask someone that may be doing the job that you are interested in, but you can prepare for the unexpected. You can plan for the unexpected, but you have to be very intentional in doing that.
Definitely, definitely. And you've made me think about actually manage your thoughts with intention in the midst of a career chaos. So, because the chaos will happen, you're in the
Yes.
midst of your career, but you've
Hmm.
got to manage it intentionally. And
Yes.
so, yeah, and do it with a proper plan, a mentor, a connection, a coach, a white space.
Hmm.
Whatever it is that can help you move from A to B to C is crucial. So feel free, please do, to follow us, subscribe, and connect with us. drtaraspeaks.com or Denise at denisefarquharson.com. And we'd love to hear from you. Tell us your thoughts on some of the things that you do to manage thoughts during career chaos. And we'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much and take care. And please just join us again the following week, next week. Take care. Bye bye.